So it's a joy to take question answer session forward, because this is the thing, okay, which makes us bring awareness on various things. I think a person with wonderful questions automatically has great solutions. For most of the questions what I encountered in my life, or for most of the challenges what I encountered in my life, I could never find a solution until and unless I could create a right question for it. Once I could create a right question, automatically I could find solutions. So there is greatness in questions. So I can just say that questions create a turning point in your life, wherein you can find solutions, you can understand what exactly the things are. So a few episodes before, I think I just even told you this. If there is a problem, Albert Einstein said that he would spend 55 minutes, if he has 1 hour to solve a problem, he would spend 55 minutes of his time to create a question. And once he creates a right question, automatically he'll find a solution. So, questioning is a wonderful strategy through which we can start celebrating the progress. So I really want every one of you to develop the ability to question. So once you learn how to question, your mind learns how to think. Once your mind learns how to think, then you can make a great progress happening in your life. So keep enhancing questions. And one thing I could discover in my life is, every time we get a problem, most of the times we just leave the problem like that, expecting that it will solve by itself. But nothing solves by itself. So we have to find a way wherein we'll come up with a question and we will think about it. So if problems are going to get solved by themselves, then situation must have been something different. Everyone would find a solution for it. So problem must make us create wonderful questions, and that questions should make us develop awareness on various things. So in all my days, one thing I could discover is this: if there is a problem in my life, I believe that there is something what I don't know. So once I start knowing it, once I start rediscovering myself or bringing awareness about it, developing clarity on that, automatically I find there is a solution for it. And that's what I would like to tell you too. So every time there is a problem, you need to realize that there is something what you don't know, and you have to chase for it. And that chase starts with a question. And question makes you think. The better the question you have, the better is your thinking. See, when I had a few things to teach to the students, it took a lot of time for me to explain that content. But I could just put it in just 3-4 lines when I could create right questions for it. So it's like, we shouldn't become angry or we shouldn't get disturbed because of anger. I won't tell the advantages and disadvantages of anger, okay. But when I start talking about anger, so when I wanted people to realize exactly what it is going to do, how it is going to have an impact in life, or when people were making mistakes, I just could put that content in a very simple manner by just asking a few questions. See, simple. So every time someone does a mistake, we fire up and we shout at them. We don't want to forgive them, and we are not happy with what they have done. So we try to get sulked, and we try to make a lot of noise. But one thing we need to understand in this particular situation is this. Let us put a few questions that will make us really think about this. So the first question can be something like this. Don't I do mistakes? When some person has done some mistake that's appearing to me as a problem, in that situation, okay, I'm just coming up with an expression, don't I do mistakes? When I do mistakes, there is every chance of the other person also doing mistakes, right? First question. Second question. When I do some mistake, I want the other person to forgive me and bring things to normal. When the other person is doing a mistake, why is that I'm making a noise? He too expects me to forgive him, right? When I do a mistake, I want the other person to forgive me. In a similar manner, when someone else does a mistake, they too want me to forgive them, right? So when I want to be forgiven, I should also forgive others. So this is what the second question is, which can make you understand clearly. So with these two questions, I think we can make the other person understand exactly. And if he asks these two questions, okay, so if sometimes he becomes angry, he can come up with a question, don't I become angry? When I get anger, he too will. When I become angry, he too will. So that is one perspective we can see. Don't I shout at others? Don't I make mistakes? Isn't there negative things in me? So I too have a lot of mistakes. See, every person has two sides. So one is a good side and other one is a bad side. So there's no human being on this earth who doesn't have a bad side, because that is what makes him realize what exactly life is. So when everyone has a good side and a bad side, we are not supposed to be bothered about the bad side of him, but we are supposed to be bothered about the good side of him. And we have to look into the good side of him, that's it. So when we start looking into the good side of a person, automatically what happens is, we start celebrating a relation. And if we start looking into the bad side of people, I don't think that we can never form a relation with anyone. And building a relation with anyone is a very tough thing, because everyone will have a negative side of it. See, we always think that everyone should talk positive about us and everyone should think positive about us. Good. But do we think positive about everyone? Do we talk positive about everyone? If we are speaking positive about everyone and if we are thinking positive about everyone, then we can expect the same from the world. When we can't do it, how do we expect others to do it? So until and unless we don't put these questions on us, we don't make a change. So today I was just listening to a session in order to handle an emotional state. So I've got a question. This is a turning point in my life. So what good, okay, this challenge is going to do to me? What benefit this challenge is going to do to me, so that I can make an outcome in my life? So I just want you to sharpen your questioning ability. It was not easy for me to even now, I'm not very good at asking questions, but still I'm trying to. See, there were days wherein I used to get up very early in the morning, just sit with a book in my hands, thinking in the open space, sitting alone, just making my mind to think different kinds of questions. And every question that strikes my mind, I used to write. And after doing it continuously, almost for 3 to 6 months, I suppose, okay, There are days wherein I could even write around 140, 150 questions, okay. So in that 2-3 hours, what I used to spend. So once we try the ability to question differently, once we have wonderful questions, so probably that is what made even Socrates to come up with some wonderful outcome. So Socrates wanted to leave this world with the truth that questions make persons think, questions make people understand the reality. So questioning ability is one of the most important thing. They are like take diversion boards. So when you go on the road, okay, there will be some boards which will give you direction as to how we have to go. In a similar manner, questions that we create for ourselves will be take diversion boards. They'll make us take the right directions in life. When we don't have the ability to question, probably we always experience, what I can say, we always experience the memory of the mind to work on us, and we just accordingly work. And if we don't have questions, all the greatest knowledge, all the wisdom that our previous generation has left for us will not be of any help for us. So if you have to update that knowledge, if you have to use that knowledge, if you have to implement that knowledge in picture, we need to understand. And understanding comes from thinking, and thinking comes from questioning. And if you don't have an ability to question, okay, and think about it wonderfully, we cannot draw a right answer on that. And that does not give a scope for us to implement. What is the use of having knowledge which cannot be utilized? If at all, if there is any benefit that a person derives out of wisdom or knowledge, that can be only when it is understood, when we discover something about it, and that's where we need to focus on. So I think questions are the key things, okay? Questions are the take diversion boards. Questions give directions for us to resolve things, but we need to learn how to create some wonderful questions in life. When we learn this, we learn how to think. So every information, see, when I came to discover that whatever may be the problem that we are encountering in life, we are encountering it because of us. So it's not because of others, it's because of us we are encountering problems. When we realize this clearly, that all the problems that I'm getting in my life, I'm getting it just because of me. I'm the root cause of it. And if a person has to understand this concept, I think he has to develop a strong thinking. And that thinking comes only when you have a strong questioning, okay. So as Bhagavad Gita says, you are your own friend, you are your own foe. So there is no friend for you, there is no enemy for you. So you are your friend and you are your foe. So in order to understand how I am my friend, how I am my enemy, and there is no friend and enemy for me, I need to go in depth of it, and I need to start thinking about the concept, and I need to update my knowledge in such a manner wherein I can understand this. So when Gautama Buddha said, you become what you think. So if a person can understand exactly that, I become what I think, so he will be very cautious about what he is thinking. But I don't think that many people are really focusing on what they are thinking. They are not focusing on what they are thinking just because they are not realizing that they become what they think. So probably the truth what Gautama Buddha said is a very short line. We become what we think. But if you cannot understand this truth, then I think, so we are losing a lot in life, right? As Gautama Buddha said, we are the universe expressing itself for a while. When Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in this world. So when all this wisdom, the greatest treasure what man could discover, when it was put in a short format for us, and if you do not have an ability to question and think about it, I think that's not going to do justice for us. And that is where we have to get strong with. So I wish all of you to empower your questioning ability and realize that your thinking alone can solve problems for you. All a person can do to lead a wonderful life, and all the possibility what a person has to lead a wonderful life is just one thing: shifting his thinking, changing his thinking, developing his thinking. Other than that, I don't think that a man can do much with his life, because consequences, circumstances are not in our hands. Whatever the consequence, whatever the circumstance we need to encounter in our life, that is to be done. But what is in our hands is only one thing, that is how we think. Okay? So, fine, with this small introduction about questioning, so let me get into the question answer session. So, I have two questions before me. So, one from Pyari, as usual, the one who asks every time, and one from Nizam. So, let me just work out with the first one, okay? Then go for the other things. Pyari, nothing is our right. Good evening. Nothing is our right. Then why do we get married, sir? If anyone marry a girl or a boy, they thought belong to them. What is the purpose of it? I don't understand. I'm not getting your intention with which you ask this. See, you're thinking about your right and all. When everything that is happening in your life is happening according to you, as you are willing or as you are wishing, then automatically our mind thinks greatly and we feel that we are in a very comfortable position. Everything is pretty superb. When things are not going the way we want them to go, when things are going on the opposite track, not according to our choices, not according to the way we want them to be, then automatically our mind starts thinking negative about every situation. Our mind comes up with all kinds of thoughts like this. See, one thing we need to understand is this. ఎక్కువ సౌండ్ వస్తున్నట్టు, just check. See, one thing we need to understand is this. Try to get the base of it. See, when something is not going the way we want it to go, when something is going opposite to us, our mind spawns on negative thinking. So let's put it in a very simple manner like this. A positive mind can attract only positive thoughts, and a negative mind can attract only negative thoughts. So when we are in a negative zone, it's better not to think about anything. So when we start thinking about things in a negative zone, it creates all kind of negative disturbances. So all we have to learn is only one thing. When we are in a negative circumstance or a negative situation, just first come out of that situation. Get into your routine world, get into your normal world. Because we are in a negative situation for one simple reason. That is, things are not going the way we want them to go. But I'll ask you a question, Pyari. Think carefully, okay? If things happen the way you want them to happen, do you think your future is going to be great? Can you assure or can you give a guarantee? So this is a question what I ask for everyone, okay? So let me just ask this question straight to everyone. A very simple question. Off chase level. Pull off. It's cool, no issue. So just try to understand this logic clearly. This is a question for everyone. Along with Pyari, I'm just making it for everyone, okay? So let me just put this question for you. So you always dream of certain things and you want certain things to happen in your life, and you think that if they happen, your life is going to be great. But I'll have a small question for you. Just try to answer it. If everything is happening the way you want it to happen, is there an assurance? Is there a guarantee that your life is going to be good? Just because you have some comfort or just because you have some what I can say, celebration in certain relations, you have some comfort, you have some security, you have some kind of celebration in a relation. You think that if this relation continues, your life is going to be fantastic. And if this kind of life is there for you, it's going to be fantastic. But it may be right now, but it may not be tomorrow. See, there are many people who loved each other and they got married with each other. So can you assure that all the people who got love married, okay, are happy today? There may be many people for whom everything what they felt or everything what they wanted happened in their life. But are they happy today? Everyone has their equal challenges, or everyone has their load of challenges. So all we need to learn is only one thing, okay? There is some supreme power guiding us. It's diverting or it's directing our life in such a manner that it is going to be great in future. All we need to do is only one thing. We need to learn to accept what life is. See, Pyare, I'll just tell you a simple thing. Right from my childhood, probably from 10 years, there are many things what I really wanted to happen in my life. But I think nothing has happened the way I wanted. Most of the things were on the opposite side, okay? So most of the things did not happen the way I wanted. So there are few things later that happened the way I wanted, but most of the things, okay, in my personal life did not happen the way I wanted. But I feel very thankful to God today for things happening like that. If things have happened the way I wanted them to happen, then I think I should have been in a big trouble today. So today the biggest happiness what I get out of my life is imparting some knowledge to students, helping them to grow better in life, helping them to become a better human beings, okay, adding some value for them by developing their communication skills, attitude, and imbibing some kind of knowledge in their head so that I can see them living better. I can at least build some confidence and courage within them, which makes them to fight with the challenges what they have in life. And that is the biggest pleasure for me. That's the biggest celebration for me. And if everything I wanted to happen in life happened according to my choice, I can surely tell you that I could not have been celebrating this today. I could not have been using my life for helping people or for helping people to add value for them. And I could not have become a person what I really want to become. So today I've evolved into something. So I have become a kind of person who can understand exactly what is really creating the challenges what I'm getting in life, what is really creating a problem in me, so why I'm getting worried, what is making me frustrated, so I can have an introspection within myself. I can analyze everything that's happening in my life, and through that analysis, I can resolve every problem that is there, and I'm even in a position to help others, okay? And when I just solve the problems of someone, or when I know the problem of the others, and when they are not able to solve it, I really feel thankful to God. So from the time I get up in the morning till I go to bed, okay, the only expression that touches my mind maximum times is thanking God. Thank you so much, my Lord. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because you've done a lot for me. So I can assure you, Pari, there is nothing that has happened in my life which is not right. Everything that happened in my life happened because it's right and it should happen like that. If at all, if it has not happened like that, I'm not going to create the life what I'm creating today. So God has a bigger vision. You can only see to a certain extent. You are like a torchlight, okay? So when you just put a torchlight, to a certain extent, okay, you will find some lighting. So beyond that, you can't see anything. Everything is darkness. Probably you put a torchlight at night time. So you go forward only to that distance, okay? But God has a complete vision of it. God is like a sun, okay, which illuminates the entire life of you. And He knows what is your future, what you are going to do, what you are going to achieve, how it is going to be. And He has a perfect plan for you. and He's tuning your life according to that perfect plan. Probably you may not be in a position to understand that right now. So we cannot see what is going to come out of it in future. Probably just try to understand, when you just plant a seed in a soil, we don't know exactly what is going to come out of that plant. We'll have to wait till the plant sprouts, grows into a tree and starts flowering, then giving fruits. How many years it is going to live, how big it is going to grow, how fast it is going to spread, how the pollination happens, how the seed is getting dispersed, how the flower is going to be useful, how the bark, flowers, trees, roots, leaves, all the parts of the plants are going to be useful for this world, okay? Nobody knows. So you'll have to wait. Just like that, what exactly Pyari is going to be, how her life is going to benefit this world. See, I can say one thing very definitely, okay? Everyone is born on this earth for a cause. They have a purpose to fulfill, and they will fulfill their purpose and go. It may be big, it may be small, but everything is a mandatory. So if you are constructing a house, probably there will be iron that is used, there will be bricks, there will be cement, water. So there will be a lot of things, okay? There will be sand, okay? There will be slight gravel, different aspects, okay, which are being used in that. Can you eliminate any part of it? Even a small amount of gypsum is used, magnesium is used, aluminium is used in cement manufacturing. There may be a minimum quantity of that. That matters a lot. So everyone has to play their role and go. Just because things are not going in your way, just because things are not happening the way it is happening, okay, you put yourself in a negative field and a negative zone in that situation, okay. Mind attracts all negative thoughts. When you are in a negative field or a negative zone, mind cannot think positively. It's never possible for your mind to think positively when you are in a negative zone. We cannot come up with positive ideas in a negative state. We cannot do negative things. We cannot turn enthusiastic. We cannot resolve challenges. Only a positive mind can attract positive thoughts. Only a positive mind can be enthusiastic and can do positive things and can make celebration happen around. So you are just not positive right now because you are not accepting what is happening in your life. But I can assure you that what is happening in your life is 100% perfect. And it is happening because it's going to create a wonderful future for you. And remember, okay, every time you have a negative emotional state to handle, so you need to understand that that is going to be a turning point of your life. And this problem, what you are encountering right now, is a turning point in your life. And it is going to give a wonderful turning point in your life. But your situation is not to sit and cry, but you have to believe in God. You have to believe, you should have that faith that He is going to create a wonderful future for you. You just need to accept things and go on. Your duty here is to update yourself. So you're a student. When you're a student, your focus must be on updating your skills, updating your knowledge, enhancing yourself. By just worrying about things, disturbing your things, you put yourself behind. Because at the time you have to develop your skills, at the time you have to develop your strengths, okay? You're not building your skills and strengths, and tomorrow when you have to compete in a race, this problem gets resolved after some time, because everyone encounters problems in life and that problems get resolved sooner or later. But once they get resolved, okay, you'll have to get back to your curriculum. But what about all the time that is being wasted in this process? See, every time a person gets emotional because of a disturbance, so he must have this question, okay, how this is going to be a turning point in my life? How this is going to make my life a more valuable one? And it is, and it will be. So when things are not going the way you want them to go, automatically you get all these thoughts. So let me consider, okay, just before having this problem in your life, you had some good time. When you had some good time, when you were celebrating, okay, when everything was going good, you never had all these thoughts. Why should we get married? We don't have a right to marry the way we want to marry. All these things, we never get any negative thought in that situation because we were in a positive zone. But once life gets into a negative state, and we are in a negative state, our mind spawns on all negative thoughts. It attracts all negative thoughts. When mind is thinking about all negative thoughts, we feel them to be real, all that negative thoughts to be real, and we experience it, we get emotional. See, simple, all the problem that we have is this. Our mind thinks. There's no problem even if the mind is thinking. But every thought that comes out of your mind will have an emotional attachment to it. If the thought is positive, it has a positive celebrating emotion. If the thought is negative, it is going to have a negative emotional impact. Getting my point? So when the mind is thinking about negative things, you are exhibiting negative emotions, and that negative emotion is painful. And that pain is making you feel bad about your life. And that is making you to think negatively. But your mind is thinking negatively just because you are in a negative state. You are not able to accept what is happening in your life to be good. That's all. If you are able to accept what is happening in your life to be good and right, then think. There's no worry for you at all. And I don't think that, okay, God can ever create a wrong choice in your life. I think around 10 years back, okay, I was going through the book The Secret, okay, by, I don't remember exactly her name, Roddy Brain, something like that. So in that, I happened to read one content which started expressing a content something like this. Universe never does something which is not good for us. Whatever that universe does, that is going to be good for us. We need to accept it and move on. And it was very difficult for me to accept at that particular time. I started thinking, does really the universe do something good? And it will always do good? See, what is to happen, happens. And even if you cry, even if you worry, even if you struggle, even if you suffer a lot regarding a problem, okay, things are not going to change in a manner that is supposed to be changed. See, I'll tell you a simple logic. A child is suffering. I give this metaphor so many times. If a child is suffering from 104 degrees fever, if we go to him and ask him, come to hospital, let's go and have some injections, you will be fine, okay? A child will say no. Because he knows that he is undergoing pain at this time. If he gets that injected, okay, he will have pain. He doesn't want that pain. And just because he doesn't want that pain, he says, I don't want to come. But as a father, we have a maturity. We know that that is right for a child. We force him, we drag him, he'll be crying, he'll be shouting, he'll be doing a lot of nonsense, but still we take him and we get him injected. Because we know that is for his good. The same thing is with God. So let us presume, can we leave the child like this just because the child is crying, just because the child is suffering, and just because the child is not accepting to get injected? Can we just leave him like that? Probably there are babies who are born with a kind of cancer within them, even in the eye or in different body parts. I know many children who were just born and taken to a hospital for surgery. I know of a person who was born and immediately his spinal cord was totally opened, entirely, and because it had some issues. Just a baby which was born a few hours back had to get operated, and for all that to heal, it was more than 3 months of time wherein they just put everything back in picture. In all these 3 months, the child was crying, the child was struggling to take a lot of things. But will God just try to take off all that? Because He knows that if that is not happening, so it's going to be a big problem for Him in future. Probably you know about Kadapa. So we have a content, in our seminar topics book, wherein he had some rare disease, wherein his leg became soft and spongy. It can be rolled, like what I can say, as we wrap cloth or something like that, we can wrap it. So there was no proper treatment for that at that time. The doctor suggested only one thing is, so just to amputate that leg and put an artificial leg in place of that. But his father did not accept it. So his father waited for a solution to be there. And after 20 years, okay, he found a solution. He got his son operated and his leg became normal. Now he can do everything as we are doing. So the vision, what his father got at that time, that after 20 years there may be a solution for it. If I get his leg amputated, how am I going to get into that solution? I cannot get the benefit of that solution in future. So when life is not going tough, you need to understand that it is going to create a turning point in your life. And you should start celebrating. See, all the people, when things are not going the way they want that to go, they don't accept that it is because of them. So every problem we create, and we start suffering as if something is happening in our life. Our emotions, our selfishness, our comfort, our conveniences, okay, makes us to build relations which are not pretty right in our life, and then we start suffering, okay, thinking that this is not happening, that is not happening, this is not going the way, that's not going the way. It is we who created it. So when you are creating it, God is not trying to blame you. Because it's up to you. God has given you the mind. But when it is to be accepted or it is to be taken care in the way you want it to happen, God may be opposing you. Because He knows that if it happens, your life is going to be a mess. And He knows what is right, how your life can be molded to greatness. You just need to accept and move on. And sure enough, you will come to know about it in future that what I did was right, what God did was right, and this is how it is going to be. This is what all the successful people narrated. Even Steve Jobs said the same thing. When you look at the future, you will never find anything clear. But when you go back and connect the dots, you will come to know why everything has happened in your life. Understand this, Pyari, okay? Just learn to accept what is happening in your life and start going on. It's the time where you have to use your life for building your skills. So when something is going odd in your life, you have to be extra careful about you. You have to listen to good information, you have to spend with good people, you have to talk great things, you have to watch movies, you have to read books, you have to celebrate your life greatly. So just because, see, if someone has become malnutrition, wherein nutrition is not reaching up to his standards, is becoming weak, okay, he's becoming thin and he's not able to, okay, do his works comfortably. In such situations, can we make this fellow hang on with eating? If you make that fellow starve because of the worry what he's getting in life, okay, he still becomes weak. You're just like that. When you're in a negative state, you have to make yourself somehow come out of that negative state. In order to come out of that negative state, you have to do what is good for you, what you really love to do. And if you're not doing something what you love to do right now, you put yourself in a deteriorating situation wherein you have a negative feel. The negative feel automatically makes the mind understand that you need some kind of pain. So the mind thinks all the negative things, and negative thoughts will create emotions. Emotions will make you still worried, and that worry will increase your negative feel to greatness. Negative feel still, okay, drives negative thoughts greatly. The negative thoughts will have negative emotion. This is continuously happening within you. And you will be feeling that my life is going odd, and my life is not good, and I'm unlucky, I'm this, that and all, okay, but it is all your mistake, okay, what you are not able to understand. Just have this question for yourself, Pari, okay, if everything is happening the way you want it to happen, can you assure me that, okay, your life is going to be 100% good? You think that it is, but you will realize in future that it is not. Because there are plenty of examples to prove it. And there is an experience what many people have got on this earth. So ultimately, everyone comes into the path of God as they grow in life because they realize that that is the only truth on this earth. And that is the only thing that does only right. Nothing else will do right on this earth. human beings are emotional and they make decisions in emotions. And in an emotional state, our memory does not work. So we become childish. See, I'll tell you, when two people are in love, they tell to each other that I'll do anything for you. I don't mind even giving my life for you. That is the most silliest thought. Nobody can do anything for anyone on this earth. Everyone has to change their life by themselves. Everyone has to do whatever he wants to do by himself. There's nothing what anyone can do to others. We can only guide, we can only give some kind of positive information in order to create a good life out of them. Other than that, nothing can be done for them. Everyone has to lift themselves by themselves. And that's what Veda says. Everyone has to lift themselves only by themselves. So there's no other way in which a person can lift himself. So whether we cry, worry, bother, become emotional, shout, okay, don't eat, struggle, beat, whatever it happens, okay. But one day you have to stop it, change your life and start working in a positive zone. Because you can't be in this state always. And that makes no sense. So just accept what is happening in your life, and I can assure you, I'll just give it in written format also if you want, that what is happening in your life is happening for your good. Because I did not have one experience or 2, 3, 4 experiences, but I had many experiences in my life wherein I wanted life to go in certain way, but it did not go in that way. It went in an opposite direction. At that time I worried, I cried, I suffered, I felt as if life is waste. I'm the most unluckiest fellow, was dejected. I want to even end up my life. I had plans to end up my life also. And that situations, I had to suffer, but God must have undergone a lot of pain, but He just waited because He knows that though I am crying, it's just like a child suffering from fever at 104 degrees. As a parent knows that fellow will have pain, but he has to be injected. So God must have undergone a lot of pain and waited because it's for your good. See, everything what a teacher says and everything what a parent tells us, okay, will be painful. And it is difficult for us to do. But if at all, if we're not doing okay, what is going to be our future? So everyone knows that, okay, if they have entertainment in their life, that is going to be good. If a child spends all his lifetime on entertainment, okay, what is going to be his future? So you can cry, you can weep, you can worry, you can struggle, you can use all your time, okay, or whatever things you have in suffering yourself, in torturing yourself. But what is the end result of all that? God has a plan for you, and that plan is going to be excellent. God always wants everyone to win. And if at all, if you have to be a winner, you need to accept what is happening in life. And if you don't have an attitude of acceptance, God cannot do anything. A doctor can operate. So I was talking to one of my students who was a manager in Andhra Pragati Gramina Bank. I was talking about the condition of my father's health. I said he had to undergo some stunts and all, as he had some heart issues. He was saying that it's good to go with heart surgery because it's like rebirth. So you're getting life again, okay? We will get another 20-25 years of life. And that's something wonderful. So the way he is thinking is unique. So we need to learn to change our thinking. We need to understand what is really causing pain. We create all the fuss in our life, and we create all the negative thinking process in our life, and we start blaming circumstances or situations. Slowly sit in a calm position and start thinking, okay, we, because of our arrogance, we, because of our selfishness, we, because of our adamant nature, because of our negligence, make wrong decisions. And that wrong decisions will give us negative circumstances or negative results. When negative results come in our life, we start suffering, blaming God, blaming circumstances, blaming a lot of a lot of other things in life. But nobody comes to a conclusion that it is because of the wrong decision what I've taken, I'm suffering all this. So I should not have taken this wrong decision in my life. We relax, we cry, we suffer, we spend all our time in nonsense. And at the end, we start thinking that I did not turn lucky. Someone has turned lucky. That fellow has turned lucky because he has used his time. See, all that you have in life is your time and energy. What are you using your time and energy for? If you're using your time and energy for a right cause, you have a future. And if you're not using your time and energy for a right cause, you don't have a future. So, all these things will pass. Your worry passes, your struggle passes, your circumstances passes, your situation passes. Everything changes in your life. And you come to know at one point in your life, I'm really telling you, okay, before 40 there were situations wherein I struggled a lot. I suffered so much in my life. I was in a kind of agony, okay, wherein I was shouting like anything, okay. So there was deep suffering within me wherein I could not sleep at nights and I was shouting also. But after 40, when I got some maturity, after undergoing a very tough situation in life, okay, so when I sat and started thinking, all I understood was only one thing, okay, all the pain what I underwent in my life was just a waste. I should not have cried for anything in life, I just cried unnecessarily. Accept life as it is coming, pyari, okay, then you will not get these thoughts. And you are in the same situation, you are sitting on the problem and thinking that it is not finding its solution, okay. So sitting on fire, you cannot be cool. You have to come out of that. You have to accept things and you have to engage yourself into some work which is going to create your future. So if not, okay, it's not your present that is going to get destroyed, but it's your future. It's your willpower, it's your confidence, it's your courage, it's your positive attitude, it's your emotions. Everything is going to get destroyed in life, in negative emotional state. You will come to a stage wherein you feel that nothing can be done in your life. And I think that is loss of everything. I suppose you remember this statement, okay, what Vivekananda said, when a boy said that what can be a bigger pain than losing a girlfriend? Vivekananda said, losing confidence of not getting another girlfriend is a bigger failure than losing a girlfriend. So probably losing confidence, losing courage, losing enthusiasm, losing celebration, losing happiness, peace, joy, bliss. So losing ecstasy is the worst part of life. And it's not to be lost in. That is lost, okay. We are not moving into a beautiful arena. We are just trying to throw ourselves in a valley. And life has a sequence of happy times and sad times. So, because life cannot teach you anything in happy moments. Life can only teach you in sad moments. So, sad moments are like valleys. We should think of coming out of that valley as soon as possible. But if you try to sit there crying, okay, you can never see the next happy one. So life is like peaks and valleys. So when you climb a peak, problems look very tiny. When you climb a mountain, problems look very small. So when you go towards life, when you start facing life, problems look very tiny in life. As you climb a mountain and look at something that looks very small, just like that. But people, if they are in a suffering zone, if they are in a worry zone, okay, how do you expect them to come out of that problem and how do you expect them to climb the peaks? It isn't right. Think about it. So, accept it, pyari, and take your life forward. I wish you all the best. You need to change your life. You are the one who created the problem. You are the one who have to come out of that also. And you don't expect God to bring you out of that because He did not create the problem. It is with your wrong thinking in your mind, okay, you create the problem just because you wanted to have some celebration in your life that was not right to do. Yeah, Nizam, good evening. It is happy to meet you through this question answer session. So life is to be led with maturity in various aspects like intellectually, emotionally. Why is that we lack that maturity when we face the problems? Why is that we get awareness after facing problems? No, basically problems come to your life to teach you that maturity. But the problem with everyone is, as I was talking to Pyari, it is the same nizam, okay? So we don't want that problems to come in our life, so we are not accepting problems. So when we are not accepting problems, automatically we are in a negative emotional state. When we are in a negative emotional state, our mind does not think in a positive manner. See, one thing you try to understand is, let anything happen in your life, whatever may be the thing that's happening in your life, okay? But the pain that you experience will be only with your thinking, right? There is no physical pain that is torturing you, but it's only the mental pain that you have. Whatever may be the problem, anyone in this world is getting, okay? Let all the 700 crore people will be suffering with some problem or the other. Whatever the problem they are encountering in life, they are encountering it because of their mental dissipation, the thinking that is happening in their mind that is not right, and that is creating a negative emotional state, and they are suffering about it. Other than that, if let us say that all the 700 crore people in this world enters into a state of coma, then where is the situation, or where is the chance of people encountering problem in life? Do they? No, right? So when you go to sleep, your mind does not think. When your mind does not think, you're problem free. But once you get up in the morning, okay, your mind starts thinking. And once your mind starts thinking, you have your share of problems. So all the challenges what you are getting in your life, you are getting because of your thinking. First try to understand this. All the problems that you are encountering in life, you are encountering because of your thinking. So, and your mind is not thinking in a positive zone. Good. Why your mind is not thinking in a positive zone? Because you are in a negative field. So why you are in a negative field? Something is not happening the way you want it to happen. Cool. Okay. But the same question what I asked to Pyari, I am asking you also, Nizam, okay? If things happen the way you want it to happen, can you assure me that your life is going to be great? You are going to create a beautiful future out of that? Okay, now try to understand what exactly is maturity. See, as a child, we will not be matured. We have to take the maturity of our elders. Did you get my point? As a child, we will not have the maturity to handle circumstances in life, and we have to take the maturity of our elders. That means we have to just follow what elders are telling. I mean by elders, okay, all the successful people on this earth. But because of arrogance, because of selfishness, because of ego, we don't take the maturity of elders. Maturity is something what you get after a long experience. So you will never get maturity without experiencing certain things. Knowledge cannot give you maturity. Maturity can come only through an experience. See, probably a fellow who has completed 10th class exams will be mature about how he has to handle 10th class. A fellow who has completed his education alone knows, okay, how he has to study. A fellow who has undergone a circumstance alone knows how he has to undergo that circumstance. See, probably at the time of my marriage, so I did not have a maturity as to choose, okay, what kind of partner I really wanted in life. But now I have got that maturity as to choose what kind of partner I want in life. But I can't go back and change my circumstance and get remarried, right? So, One thing what everyone must learn, see, a child who is studying for 10th class must listen to his masters. They must accept what the masters are telling and just follow them, because they've got that maturity, they've got that experience, they know what is right and what is wrong. So maturity is consciousness wherein you will distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. But our ego, our arrogance does not allow us to listen to what our elders says. So elders need not be a person like me. Forget about Venu, okay? You go through any successful person, probably you may be loving someone, okay? We were reading a lot of stories. At least if you go through the life of Jesus, you must have gone through the life of Jesus. I know about it, okay? You must have gone through the life of Muhammad. We too had a lot of discussions about it. So just understand what Jesus said. And are you taking the maturity of them? We don't take the maturity of elders just because we are equal, we are very egoistic, we are very arrogant, and we think that, okay, what we think must happen. It will not happen like that, right? See, I was also the same. See, when I had to undergo a tough time in my life around 40 years of age, I never realized that I was selfish. I never realized that, okay, I was arrogant. I used to think I'm a gentleman, okay, I'm very good, and I never have arrogance within me, or I never have ego in me. But I realized that I was very arrogant. I had an ego which started making me think that I'm something great in life. I'm just a speck of dust in this huge universe. Just got an opportunity to lead its life as every other fellow got. And I need to be very careful in leading that life. But I was thinking that I can do miracles in life, and I'm such a great person that I can even transform the lives of people. The most funniest decisions. I used to think I can do anything for my beloved ones, okay? Silly. I can change situations. Very, very silly. It's all because of arrogance. It's all because of immaturity. So, we can get maturity only after the experience. And I think, okay, what Vivekananda said was a perfect phrase, okay, to get connected with. That is this: if you succeed, you lead. If you fail, you guide. The fellow who succeeds leads because he has got that maturity through success. A fellow who fails can guide because he has got success through failure. Some people get success wherein things will happen the way they want them to happen. Some people will fail in life and they learn lessons. Success and failure is the same thing for life. But for us it is not the same thing. So for mind, positive and negative thought is the same. For soil, what seed you are going to plant is not the criteria or is not the matter. Its duty is to sprout. So in a similar manner, we created certain things as success and we created certain things as failure. And we are suffering because it's our creation for our mind that is not there. So probably if someone is being taught right from their childhood that failing in love is success and succeeding in love is failure. If a child is being taught about this, and that fellow will be looking forward for failing in love because he thinks that that is what success. If a child is being taught that getting fail marks in exams is success and getting top marks in exam is a failure, probably everyone will start thinking about losing marks and getting very less marks because that is what success is. We created definitions. Mind is just our slave, Nizam. You need to understand this. It just follows the instructions what we give. So probably you started telling your mind that if this happens, it is success. If this does not happen, it is failure. So when that happens, mind is giving you happiness. When that is not happening, mind is not giving you happiness. That's all. Let's say you must have started thinking that everyone must talk positive about me and everyone must think positive about me. So this is the instruction you gave to your mind. And if that is happening, okay, if everyone is talking positive about you and everyone is thinking positive about you, automatically, okay, you will be happy because it is happening the way you want it to happen. So automatically your mind will have a positive feel, positive thoughts, positive emotions. You are in celebration. If someone is talking negative about you and if someone is thinking ill of you, see, then automatically your mind starts creating negative feel, negative thoughts, negative emotions, because it's against what you instructed. See, I started this question answer session. I told my mind that I should have a lot of questions to answer. And if that questions comes in, okay, many people start asking questions, okay, I feel good about it. Because that is what I pass an instruction to my mind. But if I have some urgent work and I want to leave this place and go very early, so I want the question answer session to be quickly finished. So in that situation, I gave an instruction to the mind that nobody should ask questions. If nobody is asking questions, okay, I can just quit this session and go. And if nobody is asking questions, okay, I'll feel happy. But if in that case, many people ask questions to me, I'll not be happy. Your mind is just giving you an experience through emotions for the instructions what you are passing. And if you are not able to pass the right instructions to your mind, you cannot control the outcome of that, right? It's simple. You can put a piece of fire on a cloth, or you can put water. The universal principles will never change. If you put fire, it burns. If you put water, it gets wet. Can there be a situation wherein this will be reversed? Absolutely never. Absolutely. It never happens. The same thing is with your mind, man. It's just following the instructions. Understand, okay, your life experience is just because of the thoughts and emotions what you are encountering. And the thoughts and emotions are of just two strategies. Okay? So the only thing is what instruction you have given to your mind. Your mind is giving such kind of thoughts, that's it. So you started saying that you like somebody and you want to be with them forever in life. And if that is happening, you're happy. If that's not happening, you're not happy. So what exactly is the problem these days is people are not ready to take the maturity of their elders, successful people. Just because they have got knowledge from internet, just because they have got an opportunity to surf the information on internet and gather them up, okay, they stop taking the maturity of elders. So they are not just, it was like in previous days, people were ordered to do something. If something was to be done like this, it was to be done like that, that's it. And that is the way, okay, people could make people do right things. But today, the parents are not taking an opportunity to dictate their children, to make them do what is right. So in the process, children are just getting exposed to things what they love. And they are thinking that they are not getting that maturity. So just, I'll ask you a straight question, Nizam, okay? Try to answer me. I know you get exposed to a lot of positive information, what a lot of great people said. Are you living by that maturity? Or are you trying to handle your life with your own maturity? Your maturity is an immaturity. You know it. But if you're leading your life with the maturity of the ones who became successful in life, let it be anyone, I think that, okay, your life is going to be fantastic. But I don't know whether you are egoistic or arrogant. We are egoistic and we are arrogant because we don't listen, we don't follow the maturity of elders. So probably a lot of people, even Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan said that, okay, you should not have even 1 minute of your life, 1 second of your life wherein you are not soaked in the thoughts of God. You have to lead your life soaked in the thoughts of God all through your day. Probably Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, a man who is of great maturity, narrated this. But how many of us really have that faith in God that He exists and He is going to take care of everything? Gandhi was never in a state wherein he did not have the chant of Ram continuing in his mind and heart. That was his maturity, and he said the same thing. Okay, he accepted everything that has come in his life the way it is. But we don't take the maturity of them. So, when life is to be led with maturity in various aspects like intellectually, emotionally, why is that we lack that maturity? See, as a child we will not have that maturity. See, as a child even you do not have that strength to walk. As a child you do not have the strength to crawl initially, then stand, then walk, then run, okay. So, but you took the support of somebody and got it. And at this age, you need to take the maturity of someone whom you believe will guide you right. And you have to lead your life with that maturity until you become mature and come to a stage wherein you can handle your life. I don't think that anyone becomes completely matured in life. At every stage of life, we have to seek the guidance of higher maturity. That's mandatory. And that's how we become mature. And if you're not seeking the guidance of the higher maturity, see, when we seek the guidance of higher maturity and go, we succeed and learn lessons. And we become a leader. We can make people lead. When we don't follow the higher maturity, so we fail. And through that, we can guide people. That is also fine. But why is crying coming in the picture? It's your decision. And you created that suffering. And because you choose that path. See, there are two paths. Okay. You can accept everything that is happening. You can follow the maturity of elders and just go and you will become a leader. You can lead the world. So you just don't listen to what your elders are saying. You don't take the maturity of others. You are opposite. Now you walk in another path. By walking in the other path, okay, automatically you experience, you get matured. In the process you fail, of course. But with that maturity, okay, guide the world. But where is the question of crying, worrying, suffering, disturbing, emotionally getting ruled out? Why all this is coming in picture? It is just to escape the acceptance of failure. When your decisions go wrong and you turn a failure, you need to accept it. And when you are not able to accept it, okay, how will become a guide to guide people? I had to accept my mistake 100% wholeheartedly. So when I accepted my mistake, I got some maturity, and through that maturity I am guiding people today. I am a failure. I am a failure in everything because I did not take the maturity of elders. I did not live my life with the maturity of elders. I did not listen to the matured people. Only after failing and suffering a lot in life, okay, I started listening to the maturity of elders. Now I am leading my life with the maturity of elders and I am turning as a leader. Now there is no question of failing. There is only the question of succeeding. So now I'm leading people as a leader. I failed in my life and became a guide. So frankly saying, I'm a leader now, but of course, I was a guide from my past experiences. So we need to borrow the maturity of elders. We need to listen. We need to take the choice of them. That's mandatory in Islam. Only then we can make things go better in life. I'm not talking much about your question, Islam, because it was almost similar to the question what Pyari asked. So I think you must have got much content from that too. Okay. Thank you so much for your question, Islam. Okay. Keep asking questions. Arif, good evening, Min. Thanks for your question. How to push ourselves to do the right work, good work. Whatever condition is, did not agree. Whatever the condition is, our age or health or issues or some personal issues, okay. How to push ourselves. See, right from our childhood, we know what is right and we know what is wrong. Though we know that is right, we did not do it because it involves pain. Though we know that it is wrong, we started doing it because it gave us pleasure. See, getting up in the morning and going for running, okay, is a painful experience. So we did not go. We know that it is right, but we did not go. So just laying down on bed with the bed sheet on us in comfort is wrong. We know that it is wrong, but we did it because it was giving pleasure. Understand one thing, Arif, okay? Life is an uphill journey. It's an uphill journey. We need to understand this. So every step we need to climb is difficult to climb. Of course it's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. It's very difficult to climb. So, but we need to take that uphill journey. So we need to do the right. So doing the right is like climbing a mountain. So by climbing a mountain, what happens is as you do the right things in life, so that is by climbing the mountain, when you stand on the top of the mountain and look at the world around us, even the tallest buildings look to us like a matchbox. So when we do the right things and go in our life, in spite of all the uncomfortable experiences we get, discomfort we get, if we start doing the right things, okay, we climb the mountain. And once we climb the mountain, okay, the problems look small. See, today I feel the joy of leading my life because the problems look very tiny for us. See, I may have financial issues, I may have health issues, I may have personal issues, I may have circumstances issues, I may have a lot of challenges in my life, okay, but they all look small. That is the celebration part of my life. They don't dominate me, I dominate them. But take it on the other perspective. If I did not climb the mountain by doing the right things, so probably I just stand like this looking at the 200-story building in front of me. Wow, how big it is. The problem looks like a giant and I feel that I can never handle it. Because I never try to handle it because it's such a big giant. I think I can't fight it. But if I do the right things in life and start, okay, getting onto the top of life, then the problems look very, very small for us. I don't say that we will ever come to a stage in life wherein we will not have any problems. Problems will be there in life and we will be encountering them. But one good thing is problems look tiny. See, if I keep these papers very close to my eyes, okay, I can see nothing. But if they keep these papers at a far distance from me, okay, it does not impact my life. The same thing is with you too. So doing the right thing is mandate in life. So learn to do the right things. Just because you're not doing the right things, just because it is discomfort, you need to understand that life is an uphill journey and everything good that is to be done is difficult to follow. It's difficult to follow. So coming out of egoistic state, coming out of arrogance, okay, accepting that we are a speck of dust, we are very normal people. So we are nothing on this earth. We are just nothing but a piece of flesh. It's not easy. But until we accept that statement, okay, we cannot lead a peaceful life. So we consider ourselves to be something great, and we think that if that greatness is getting disturbed, okay, what the hell is going to happen in my life? But who considers that we are great? For whom we are great? We are great because we are comparing with someone and thinking that we are great. We compare with a beggar who is not able to have a shelter and clothes to wear and food to eat and think that I am great, okay, which is senseless. Without comparison, tell me one rule or one strategy wherein you can say that you are great. We cannot maintain this body for more than 1 minute without oxygen, which the universe provides us, and we consider that we are great. If that universe stops giving us oxygen, this body cannot survive for more than a minute. Whatever the stuff that universe gives to us, that is being eaten by us and that is being converted into energy, flesh, bones, and that is how we are surviving on this earth. And if that stops, and this body does not survive, so in what manner do we consider that we are great? So become humble, Arif, and just do the right things. You're not doing the right things just because it's difficult to do. So doing the right thing is painful, doing the wrong thing is pleasure. That's it. So as it is painful, we are not doing it. But if we don't do it, you're not climbing the top of the mountain, and the problems do not look small for us. And when problems do not look tiny for us, okay, handling life is very difficult. We have to come to a stage wherein the problems become very tiny for us. When the problems become very tiny for us, okay, handling life is very good. We can jump and joy and celebrate our life because our thinking goes fantastic in that particular situation. But if that is not the case, okay, life is very tough to do. And in order to experience that in life, I told you, right, life is an uphill journey. It's tough to do the good things, but we need to do. Getting up every day early in the morning, doing exercise, going through positive content, okay, reading books, updating knowledge, doing something positive, eating the right stuff, talking the right things, having right emotions, thinking positively, handling emotions, okay, being in a positive zone, forgiving everybody, looking into the positive qualities of everyone, having patience, understanding, gaining the maturity of others. Nothing of this is easy. It's all difficult to do. But that's the only way where you can climb the mountain of life. And once you climb the mountain of life, the problems look tiny. When the problems look tiny, life is a celebration. But I don't say that problems never come in life or if. Thank you so much for this wonderful things. Every time you have this Arif, okay, you're not doing the right thing. Okay, then automatically just check this. So why am I not doing the right thing? It's just because it's painful. Okay, and if I'm not doing this because I'm afraid of the small pain, then I have to undergo the biggest pains in life. And that's more troubling, right? That's more challenging. You need to understand this. Okay, take it on, Arif. You can. So keep doing the right things and climb the mountain of life, and go to the top of it and make every problem tiny and celebrate your life fantastically from there. Okay? I hope you will do it. Thank you so much. Good evening, Madhu. So how to control anger? Thanks, Madhu, for your question. We've discussed about this so many times, but I'll let you know. See, we cannot control anger because it's a resultant of something. So it's not possible to control anger. But we can start taking precautions in such a manner wherein we will not become angry in future. Okay? See, why we get angry? Just try to understand this. First situation. our people or the people opposite to us are not behaving the way we want them to behave. And this makes us angry. But now you need to put these questions. If you can write these questions, I'll feel very happy about it. The first question is, why should the other person behave the way you want? First question, why should the other person behave the way you want? Is the other person leading his life or your life? Is the other person leading his life or your life? Second question. And if at all, if you have to behave according to the whims and choices of others, will you? Three questions. First question, you are becoming angry because the other person is not behaving the way you want him to behave. Okay? So, why should the other person behave the way you want him to behave? Connected with second question. Because he is leading his life, he is not leading your life. So, he loves doing something and he is doing it. And you need to accept it. You need to love him as he is. And third question is, if someone is controlling you, if someone is asking you to do and if someone is asking you to live your life the way he wants, then you can't do it. When you can't do it, okay, how the other person is going to do it for you? So learn to accept people as they are, unconditionally. Love them. Love them as they are, without any conditions. First point. Second thing is, we must have created a negative thought about the other person. That is, we started looking into the negative part of person. I told you, right? Every person has two parts. One is a good part and there is a bad part. And you have no right to look into the bad part of it. So you can see water in a drainage, you can see water in a freshwater tank or something like that, okay? Let's say water purifier, okay? The water in a water purifier may be good, okay? The water in a drainage will definitely not be good, okay? But what is that you are drinking? That's water. This is also water. But no one is going to a drainage and drinking water because they know that that is not good water. In a similar manner, man has a combination of two things. See, when our urine or feces is within us, okay, so it's not bad, but once it comes out, that becomes stingy and bad. It's the same with us. So everyone has a good part and a bad part, and we don't have the right to look into the bad part of others. When we look into the bad part of others, we hate. So when we hate, we develop negative thought process about them, we overlook them, we belittle them. In the process, we become angry with others. So why should we ever create a negative thought about others? Looking into the bad part of them. Isn't it just because of our arrogance that we are great? Are we so sure that, okay, we are so perfect in life? We don't do any mistakes? When we know that we too do mistakes, okay, why do we have an arrogance thinking that we are greater than someone? See, I'll just tell you one thing, Madhu, okay? We only show our arrogance, okay, on the people who bear it. We don't show our arrogance on the people who don't bear it. So let's say you went to a normal tea stall on a roadside and the fellow was serving tea, a boy who came to serve tea for you happened to put some tea on you. So by giving that tea to you by mistake, okay, the cup fell on you and your dress got spoiled, okay. You become irritated, okay. You shout at him, you say all kind of bad words. But let's presume, okay, you went to Jagan sir's house and Bharati madam happened to bring coffee for you and by mistake, okay, the madam happened to pour coffee on you. Now, can you expect the same situation? Will you shout? Will you use all kind of bad words? Do you exhibit that arrogance? you are showing your dominance, okay, just because the other person will bear it. If you know that the other person is not going to bear it and they are going to encounter you, you are going to just accept it. Our arrogance is such that we always tries to torture people, okay, who bear the torture. And when we know that they are not ready to accept that, okay, we quit from that place. So, don't look into the bad part of people, always look into the good part of people, so that you will always have the emotion of love towards them. When you have the emotion of love towards them, you will not get negative thoughts. When you are not getting negative thoughts, they will not turn into negative emotions. It will not drive anger in your life. Got it? But if you start looking into the negative qualities of others, and you start looking into the negative qualities of others because it's your negative quality. So you look into the negative qualities of others as if you don't have any negative quality within you. And you will never look into the negative qualities of others if you don't have a negative quality within you. When you have negative qualities only, you look into the negative qualities. See, simple, life is a mirror. What you have within you, you can see in others. What is not there within you, you cannot see in others. If there is good in you, you can see good in others. If there is bad within you, you can see bad in others. So you are looking into the bad because you have that bad within you. And that's your mistake. And by looking into the negative qualities of others, if you start hating them, you become angry. So slowly develop the habit of looking into only positive qualities of others. When you start looking into the positive side, just question this once, Madhu, okay? Can the other people look into the negative part of you? Don't you have a negative part? Can others look into the positive? Can others look into the negative part of you? If others look into the negative part of you, you don't like it. But why do you look into the negative part of others? So you want everyone to be perfect, okay? But are you perfect? Most of the people will be like this, okay? Even if I do 1,000 mistakes, you have to accept me. But even if you do one mistake, I won't accept you. What logic is that? You want everyone to forgive you when you do a mistake, okay? But you don't want to forgive anyone, okay, when the other person does a mistake. I hope you're getting it, Madhu. Just try these two things, okay? The first thing is, don't expect the world to be as you want it to be. Let people be the way they want to be. So when you put conditions on the others for them to be the way you want them to be, then it creates problems. For that I gave you 3 questions. You need to remember that 3 questions. Okay. The first question is, okay, is the other person leading the life of his choice or your choice? Or the first question what I said is this: why should the other person behave according to your choice? Second question, is the other person's life his or yours? And if the other person is taking the control of you and putting some conditions on you, are you ready to accept that conditions? When you are not, just love people as they are unconditionally. Don't have any terms and conditions on others. And second thing is, don't look into the negative qualities of people. They might cheat you, they might deceive you, they might torture you, they might become a reason for a lot of faith, a lot of loss in you, they might create a lot of fuss in your life. They might be a sign of disturbance in your life, okay, but still don't look into the negative part of them. Look into the positive part of them. And by looking into the positive part of them, automatically you never develop hatred towards them. When you don't develop hatred towards them, okay, you will be peaceful. When you are peaceful, you are in balance. When you are in balance, your mind thinks positive thoughts. When your mind is thinking positive thoughts, your emotions are positive and your life is comfortable. But if you start looking into the negative part of others, then automatically you become negative. Because your thoughts become negative, your emotions become negative, your feelings become negative, and you create a lot of fuss because you are not in balance. And when you are not in balance, you do a lot of nonsense, okay, wherein you make your life still worse. And wrong decisions, what you take, will be creating a lot of consequences in future, which is still bothering for you. So I hope you got it. Just try these two. So there is no remedy for the mistakes what you have done in the past. You already put a lot of negative content in your mind because of your arrogance, because of your ego. Okay, for that you have to suffer. Slowly you have to change it. And that you can only by becoming humble, realizing that you are just a piece of flesh, nothing more than that. And everyone is great on this earth. Everyone is equally great. Okay? On the other side, just love people as they are. You too have the choice, and that will be the outcome of it. So there's a lot what I can talk about this, Madhu, but first, if you start implementing these two things, okay, I'll be a very happy person. And with that, we will see if at all we can discuss about the other things. Okay. I think there's another question from somebody. So let me answer that question before calling it a day. See, I've been explaining you certain things with my maturity, but your maturity may not be enough to understand all this. But borrow the maturity of mine and just follow what I'm saying. So in the process of following it, okay, you become mature. So you can get maturity in two ways, I said, right? One, doing what I say, following what I'm saying, and you can become a leader in that. The other way also you can go. You can just leave aside what I'm saying, and you can walk the negative path. You can become a failure, and there also you can guide people that I didn't do this because of this. I'm suffering today. You please do it. And you can be a guide. I don't make any difference between a leader and a guide. But people don't like being a guide because they think that's a failure part, okay? But that's not the way you have to be. Good evening, Mahesh. Thanks for your question, man. Sometimes feel life is small, sometimes life is too long. What's it? Very simple, okay? When you are happy, you feel life is very small. Time is passing off very fast. When you are in disturbances, when you are in worries, when you are in challenges, okay, you look as if life is too long, okay? It's very difficult to take it forward. So some of you have to learn to celebrate every part of your life. When you learn to celebrate every part of your life, life moves out like a jiffy. See, probably my first 40 years moved very slowly because I had a lot of problems to face and I had a lot of challenges to undergo in the process, okay? I could not celebrate my life, okay? But after 40, once I got some maturity, I've started understanding what is what of life, and I was in balance always. And by being in balance, okay, but just putting my thoughts in positive state, I realized only one thing, that okay, all the problems what I have because of my poor thinking, and I must change my thinking, that's all. So by changing my thinking, by just putting myself in a comfort zone, okay, I started handling all the problems what I had in my life. So when you are happy, like you are in a party, or let us presume, okay, you are in a cinema theater wherein the movie goes for 2.5 hours and 2.5 hours flies off in a jiffy. But you are in a class wherein a master is taking a session for 2.5 hours, and the 2.5 hours will not go fast for you. And in the process, you try to look at your watch so many times, okay, because it's not a celebrating part for you. Okay, so life is going fast because it's a happy time for you, and life is not going fast because you are in a sorrow mode, you are in a negative circumstance, you are in a negative situation, okay. If you can drive that maturity and put yourself in a positive situation always, I think life goes very fast for you, and you'll get that maturity, okay. So will you get that maturity as a leader, or will you get that maturity as a loser? Okay, it's up to you. So if you want to get that maturity as a leader, just take the maturity of elders and start going. And you can avoid the maturity of others with your ego and arrogance and walk the other path, but still you can get maturity by failing. At least guide people through that. Okay, so that they will not face the same situation. Okay, thank you so much. And good evening, Raidu. Thanks for your question. Sir, మీరు ప్రపంచాన్ని చూసే దృష్టిని ఎవరిస్తారు? ఓకే, ఓ వివరిస్తారనా? సారీ. Even I had the perception initially wherein I was thinking that life is giving me problems, and because of life I am suffering. God is creating problems, and because of that problems I am suffering. Life is throwing challenges on me, but that was the funniest thing that happened in my life. So I never realized that I was the creator. I am the Brahma, I am the Vishnu, and I am the Maheshwar. I was the creator. I was the one who was maintaining that, and I was the one who destroyed that also. So initially I was looking at the world with a perception that, okay, there's every problem in the world, and everything has to change in this world for me to be happy. But later I realized that the root cause of all the problems is within me, and until and unless I change, okay, I can't change anything. See, I'll ask you 3 simple questions. Try to answer me. See if I'm taking the right decision. How the people will live on this earth, I think you can understand. One day, a king happened to take his queen to a beach on a seashore. The queen played a lot. She went into water, she jumped, okay, she ran in this sand and all, okay. But somehow by evening, her face started turning pale. So there was tanning on her face. And it was because of the sun. The king did not like this. So immediately he called his disciples and started saying that, okay, called his team of people, soldiers and all, and started saying that, cover the entire city with an umbrella so that the sun ray will not fall anywhere and nobody's skin will get tanned, or my queen's skin will never get tanned, and she'll be comfortable. Is this a wonderful decision? Think once. Second one. One day the queen happened to go for a walk along with the king. And at that time, okay, I'm talking about a very long time back situation. So they were going barefooted, and in the process, a thorn pierced into her leg, and she started bleeding, and she started screaming in pain also. The king somehow managed to remove it, but he became very angry because the thorn pierced into her leg, and he wanted to find a solution. And the solution, what he decided was this: all the paths where the queen walks must be covered with leather so that no thorn will pierce into the leg of the queen. Do you think is it a right decision? Think everyone, and I do also. So let's go for the third thing, okay? So some of queen's eyes got damaged, and she was in a position to only notice the green light. All the cones in the retina lost the ability to identify other colors. It had only an ability to identify green color. So if anything is in green color, the queen could see. If it's not in green color, the queen could not see. Okay? So in that situation, the king just felt a good solution about it. He said, the entire city must be painted in green color. Everything must be in green color. All the people must be in green color. All the food items, everything must turn into green color, because the queen can only see green color and she can't see anything else. So is it a right decision? And this is how all of us behave in life, Raidu. So we want to change the world for us to have comfort. But solutions are very simple. When we can change our thinking, then automatically the world gets right. So I can put on a small story. There was a child. His father went home and the child wanted to play with his father. So the child went to the father and started pushing him that, come, we'll go out and play, come, we'll go out and play, come, we'll go out and play. So, Dad, I want to play with you, I want to play with you. Father was busy reading a newspaper. And he wanted to read the newspaper, he was not interested in playing with the child. So somehow he wanted to escape from this situation. So what he did is, he took out a newspaper. So there was a map of the world on it. So he tore the map into pieces and just gave it to the daughter, saying that you first set this map right. Because you don't know where Australia, because the father's thought process is something like that. He doesn't know. The child does not know, okay, where Australia is, where America is, where North America is, where Sri Lanka is and all. So she will not be in a position to assemble that in a quick time. So in the meantime, he can read the newspaper. But within just 1 minute, okay, the child came up with arrangement and started saying that, Dad, I'm done. I did it. The father was stunned. What is this? How could this girl, okay, do everything right in just a minute? And not knowing, okay, he just asked his child, okay, how could you do this? So the daughter said, when you were tearing the newspaper of the world map, I could notice a person's face on the other side of it. I don't know where Australia is, I don't know where Sri Lanka is, I don't know where America is, I don't know where Africa is. But definitely I know where the nose is, where the mouth is, where the eyes are, where the hair is and all. So I assembled the man right, the world became right. This is what we need to understand. When we set ourselves right, everything around us becomes right. So life is inside out. When we change the things inside, outside everything becomes normal. But silliest thing is people don't understand this. They always fight with one perspective in mind that if the external world becomes right, I am going to become right. And that is a silly way of living life. It never happens and they keep on suffering in their life. But life is inside out. When you set things right inside, automatically everything around you becomes wonderful. If you are in a field of positive zone within you, you attract all positive things and you create a wonderful atmosphere around you and everything starts growing wonderfully around you. You will find celebration around you. But if you are not in a positive field, okay, then you can never make anything grow around you. It's just like there was a bomb put in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, okay, and that has turned negative. Even a grass piece does not grow there today. That will be the same situation of you. If you are not putting yourself in a positive zone, you will not make the things around you grow. No goals, no dreams, no aspirations, no achievements, nothing will be there, okay. We will be spoiling everything around. So we have to change ourselves from inside. So life is inside out. Until unless we don't change ourselves from inside, so we don't become a positive person from inside, we cannot make the surroundings around us look great. So I started creating that. I'm not trying to change anything in the outside world. So whatever the problem I find in the outside world, I try to change within myself. So if my mind seeks some negative thing, I just stop looking into the negative part of it, I start looking into the positive part of it. When my mind is developing hatred, I convert it into love. Okay. So whenever there is some mistake that I find in the world, I don't blame the other person, I blame myself. So every time I feel that someone is troubling me, I realize that it is because of my thinking. So every time I feel dominant, okay, I feel that I'm egoistic or arrogant and I need to change my egoistic state or arrogant state. So that is how I changed my perception of life. The only secret is this. Life is inside out. If you are great inside, everything around you becomes great. Because God does not interfere into our experience of life. And if you are not good internally, you can never make the experience of life around you good. So in order to make the experience of life around us great, okay, we have to keep ourselves internally great. That's the only logic. That's it, nothing else than this. So we have to see through a perception wherein whatever the problem that is happening in this world, you are the root cause of it. If you think someone is the root cause of it, ఇంకొకరు ఎవరో దానికి కారణం అని మనం థింక్ చేసినంత కాలం we will never solve even one problem in life. We will be in that problematic zone. When we can take off our ego, when we can take off our arrogance and accept that I am the root cause of the problem that I am encountering in my life, then you can solve the problem. But person's ego or arrogance is so strong within them that they can't accept that it is their mistake. So the problems never get solved. As the problem never gets solved, okay, they keep suffering in that problem. They keep suffering in that pain. So just change this idea, everything is going to be great. So I think it's done. Okay. Thank you so much for your beautiful questions, guys, and thank you for encouraging us so much through this question answer session. And you're really making me experience something wonderful in life. I can never forget the experience what you are giving it. It's all happening because of you. Thank you so much. Let's keep going with this. Have a nice time.